Where's Bob? No. Will you shut that curtain so it's dark?
Hey, Dan.
Afternoon, everybody.
Hey there.
Good afternoon. What's up, Mr. Dwight?
Hey, just trying to get on this call.
Nice. I like
See
your.
Shelby yet? Can you see Shelby?
I don't know. You're flipping us sideways.
I thought he was in a golf cart.
Are we up and down?
There you go, buddy. You're right side up now.
Okay, good. That's better.
You got on your back patio?
We're in the gazebo.
Nice.
We're back in ship. I pulled her out of the warehouse.
All right.
Hi, Heather.
Hello. Hi. How is everybody?
Good.
Oh,
Doing well.
hey, Heather.
Looks really nice outside there, Dwight.
Oh, it is. It is. Sun's getting right in my eye for about 5 minutes.
Well, I guess we could get started. It's 5:01. We can go ahead and get started. You know, this first started out, Jim and I were talking, and we just thought, you know, it'd been 3 weeks, and we just figured we'd get everybody together and we would, you know, just talk, see how things were going out there, kind of convey on what we had been hearing. And then through the last 4 or 5 days, we've gotten a lot of momentum on a new program that Heather's been testing, and I'm going to kind of let her take the lead here in a minute on that. I know, Regina, you've done some as well, but we really want to focus on that and kind of have Heather and Regina chime in when you can on how the program's going, what you're doing to book some of these school fairs. The first thing we want to go over, though, is that hearing from the field, we do see a few more people, a few more reps in different areas starting to get into their schools and do actual displays. And it's all over the country. I mean, in, you know, Sherry Weaver down in Florida, John Rovneck, North Carolina, Rick Jordan, Texas. I think, Bob, you've gotten into some schools now. Tony Benjamin down in South Carolina is getting into more. Tom Bueller, who got into 0 schools, and Jim could probably elaborate a little more, out of 190 the first time around. The second time around, the last number I had was he was able to set up in 69. And Jim, that may have went up since then. But
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jim.
He's up to about 50%. And Dan Horn, he's on this call. He's at least in some of his North Carolina stuff as well. So
Well, that's great. That's great. Roger in Ohio is in some schools, the Flemings in Kansas. So we're starting to see where things are starting to open up. Virtually, I mean, the momentum continues to grow. I mean, we're really seeing averages starting to pick up. I think as more and more people on our end learn how to use some of the programs they previously weren't using. And I think on the customer's end, I think what we're seeing the second time around is that our customers are starting to get acclimated a little bit to our virtual display versus the site. So that's been you know, again, a real positive. We seem to have a lot of positive momentum going on. With that, I'll tell you some of the things that are selling are some of your carryover. For you guys, I know you're buy sell, but the sheets seem to be doing very well online. It's a $29 item. Even if you only get a case or 2 of each, I really think they're well worth putting on your lineups. You seem, from what I've seen, the people that are running them, reps that are running them, are selling, you know, a handful each week, a few here or there. And again, it doesn't take much with those to add up with them being $29.
Regina has some on her lineup, right, Regina? Or we were trying.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Are you selling?
And
them?
I've sold some this week.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I always sell sheets, always.
Yeah.
You guys may have noticed in the Business Manager, there's a little refresh, almost like a little refresh button whenever you schedule an event. What that is for is if you feel from the customer side, if pictures aren't showing up, if it's just not right, try to refresh it. Now, whenever you hit refresh, most refresh buttons, as you know, they'll kind of go in a circular or do an hourglass, and then it kind of updates. This thing does nothing. You hit refresh, it'll ask you, are you sure you want to refresh it? If you hit yes, it will update. I had an issue, I think it was 2 days ago or yesterday, with Kevin Colehouse. It wasn't showing correctly on his end or on the customer's end. He went in, deleted it, started a new one, went back in. It still wasn't pulling up, got me on the phone. We went in together into his events. I hit that refresh, and within 2-3 minutes, the lineups on that event, they all came up to all those schools. So it does work. So it's officially the magic now, because that really, really saved a ton of time with us going to IT, you know, and getting them to look into stuff. So that would be, if you guys feel something's hanging up in your digital order form, again, hit that little circular refresh button first before you go to IT. So,
Where's that refresh button at?
if you go, once you book an event, all the way to the right to where you'll see your printer, then you'll see delete. Right to the right of delete, there'll be a little circular refresh button in there, in Business Manager and Events. Next thing we had up was promos. We got new promos for you guys, really 3 of them. We have the Llama Llama tote bags. Steve's willing to give out our Taste of Home Halloween. Jim, I wish I had the SKU on that.
I do.
Go ahead.
Hold on one sec. Keep talking.
We have a Taste of Home. It's a Halloween activity book that Steve's willing to give you guys for $1. Well worth it. It's a hardcover activities book. And then there's a Wild About Words card set that Steve's also willing to give you guys $1 to give away for free, or to incentivize your contacts with if you purchase $25 or more, however you want to utilize these things. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, the SKU for the Halloween is 66680. And that is right now showing, I believe, I know we have some for sure in St. Louis as well as Norfolk, and I believe out west as well. And then the Wild About Words card assortment is 104338. That's only in the west and central.
All right.
What is the stationery? Is that the card set? Is that the stationery, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
what was
I've been
that?
doing the card.
It's 104338.
I've been doing the cards with a $49 purchase, and I've given away case after case of the cards, and then I've added the Halloween if they purchase $99.
Oh,
I
wow.
like that.
That's awesome. That is awesome. How many of the Halloween books have you given away for $99?
Couple cases,
That's awesome.
2 or 3 cases.
That's great. So, next up, like I said, is really the big topic. And
Bob, real quick, Steve's in the waiting room. He's waiting to get in.
I have to keep an eye on that. Sorry about that, Steve.
Yeah, no worries. Got me now.
All right. Same with Rick and Bob. Sorry, guys. I know you guys were in the waiting room. Yeah. It's a new policy that Zoom's put in. I didn't see you guys come in there late. So, Bob. Well, we're just about ready to start the school fair program of this. Heather, if you'd like to take it away and kind of tell everybody what you and Ronnie have been working on.
Sure. Well, first I want to emphasize the ease of booking these. I think that's really important. You know, we're in a prime position right now with COVID having happened, and a lot of things are virtual. You know, our virtual events have been going well. And then you've got schools who, you know, have tried maybe the Scholastic virtual event and it didn't work for them last year. And now with COVID, they can't book their in-person Scholastic fair, and they didn't have success with their Scholastic virtual. So it's kind of like all these things came together, and it's a prime opportunity for us as a company, being that we have the DOF and My Store, we have that virtual presence, come in there and say, hey, what we've got is awesome. We've got great prices. You know, we've got the ease of our system, because I've heard that from schools, from librarians, that Scholastic's online system is not user friendly, and ours is very simple. It's very user friendly. So we've got prices, we've got the ease of our system, and then they've got us. They've got us there to help them with everything. You know, with Scholastic, it's somebody on the phone. They're not there to physically help. They're not the people that are in there setting up their displays. So we have a lot of things going for us, guys, before you do anything, before you even mention it. So when we go in and we tell a school, either we walk in when we're delivering orders and we'll have to talk to the librarian, or we'll tell our secretary, or if we know the principal well, we're saying, hey, you know, we've got this new great thing this year. We're doing virtual school flash fairs. It's easy for you. You don't need volunteers. We, you know, provide you with all the marketing material. We provide emails that if you can send those out to the parents and the students, you know, we get that all set up for you. And then on top of that, when the orders are filled, we bring them bagged up, ready to go. Your librarian doesn't have to separate all the orders. We're doing that on our end. And, you know, we just staple the receipt to it, just like we do all the other orders from our virtual displays. So we have a lot of selling points. So you're in a prime position to book these fairs. It really is simple to go in there and just say, hey, we've got this now. We're offering, you know, all these simple things for you, making it as easy as possible. We give you instructions on how to do it. We've got yard signs, we've got banners. That's the difference between us and Scholastic, is basically us in our prices and all the things we have to offer. So it's been easy to book them. And then what I want to say about that is you need to put on your secretary pants and organizational skills, because as you start to book them, it's really important that you keep track of who's going when, because Ronnie and I are running into that where we've got a lot of fairs going at one time. And it's just important to make sure your schools have that marketing material up front, that they're prepared and ready, that you stay in contact with them about what's going on, and as their fair runs, to keep them informed as to how their fair is doing and is there anything you can do to help. That's kind of the big picture of it, if that all makes sense to everybody.
Hey,
The detail.
hey Heather.
Yeah.
Hey Heather, this is Steve. I came late. You guys, did you mention what the school had done with the virtual Scholastic? What dollar amount that they did on their event?
Okay, no. So our first virtual fair was at the end of September, and it was a librarian that we knew well, and she had said she had done 2 virtual Scholastic fairs last year, tried them, and through 2 events, she had received 2 orders totaling $30, and that was it. So, you know, she knew we had different things to offer, but she wasn't super confident that her parents were going to do this, that they were going to order online. She said they're not big online buyers. So we said, okay, well, we're going to try this. You know, we've got all the things that I laid out a little bit ago. We've got all those things going for us. And any of your students that, you know, someone in their family or a family friend orders, we'll give them a free gift. We have this free jumbo stress ball. So we'll make sure that each of those students gets that. They ended up doing, it was a Monday through Friday fair, and they ended up doing, it was $1,776. And that was compared to 2 fairs through Scholastic that totaled $30 in orders. So she was happy, we were happy, the school was happy, everybody was happy, and everybody made money.
And and it was easy. I know you talked about ease,
Yeah.
but when's the last time you guys had a $1,700 school?
We have never had a $1,700 school. So that was Yeah.
Anyway.
That was a big deal. That was a big deal. And especially, now we can use that moving forward. That generated a lot of excitement in Ronnie and I and in that school. And when you get that first one like that, you gain a lot of momentum, as we're seeing, company-wide. It's just, there's a lot of excitement to say, hey, this works and we can do this. We've got everything we need. And I know there's some other kinks we're working out, but geez, guys, there's a lot of money to be made and a lot of good things we can do for our schools through this program. So I know there's more details and I can try to go into more, or, I know pricing structure, Ronnie and I have kind of adapted with more of like a corporate fair pricing model. So there's a little bit of a price difference between our regular virtual display and the fair, and that is just to make up for the fact that we're giving 20% cash back or a 30% product rebate to the school. So the prices are
which I think is, sorry to interrupt again, but I think it's great because this $1,700 basically focused on parents and grades, so it does not compete in any way with our existing normal teacher display. So the teachers actually get better pricing, whereas the parents that are participating in the school fair are paying more because the money's going back to the school. I mean, you can do your regular route and supplement your regular route with as many school fairs as you guys can.
Mm-hmm.
And the value, right, compared to Scholastic is much better.
Yes, that is, if you talking to our librarians, we have learned, I had a librarian, well, she's actually the school secretary now, but she used to be the librarian, and we were working with a librarian who was new to the school. And so the secretary was involved because she had done Scholastic fairs before. And she said, this was so refreshing to watch, because she said, Lynette, the librarian, she doesn't know how easy she has it. I've done Scholastic fairs. It's a lot of work. And with you guys doing what you did and the rebate we get and the pricing that you guys are able to offer the parents, she said, it's just easy. And it's a no-brainer that why wouldn't they buy? The prices are great. The stuff you have is great. Your customer service is great. It was an easy in. And she said to me, she goes, anything you want to know about Scholastic, I will tell you everything. Because she said, she said, can we do this every time you come? And I said, well, this, every time we do a virtual display. And I said, well, no, this will be like a fall and a spring thing. But she said, I just love this. Everybody just love this. So I don't feel like there are a lot of downsides.
Yeah, and the other thing, I sent out, what you guys had sent over that you shared.
Mhm.
I sent that out to everybody on the call, and one thing I found interesting is Scholastic, what you found out is they have a minimum sales
Mm-hmm.
in the tiered system.
Yeah.
So if they only did a certain amount of sales, what did you say? They get 10% if it was below a certain mark?
Yeah, if it was under 1,000, I believe it is, it's 10%. And I did hear a complaint from a librarian, not only about that, because if we do a $500 fair, then a librarian still, if she wants to pick product, it's still $130 in product. And because of our pricing structure, that's a lot of product for her. So one of the complaints I heard about Scholastic was, yes, the tiered system, but also if they choose product, she said, I'm forced to pick something, a book, let's say, a popular book. And she said, I might have to take $25 of my Scholastic dollars to buy that book as part of my rebate when I can go to Walmart and get it for 15. So she said, it's really frustrating. It's like a double whammy for us. So, we have a lot of things going for us. It really is, it can be an easy conversation for you guys as reps if you have these good relationships with your schools already to say, hey, this is something we're offering. And it doesn't have to be in place of the Scholastic fair either. This can be an addition. If they love their Scholastic Fair and maybe they have permission to, do an in-person Scholastic Fair, we have some of that. And we say, that's great, that's fine, but we can still do this, in addition to that. Let's just space it out a little bit. And so we've got some of them doing them in December because maybe their Scholastic Fair is in October or vice versa, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be, oh, if you're doing Scholastic, you can't do us. That's another complaint we hear, is that Scholastic's real particular about their contracts, and I understand some of that, but it has put a bad taste in their mouth for these librarians, and they're out there looking for other things. So
Yeah, well, I mean, our product selection alone separates us from Scholastic, being as we have so many gifts and toys and things for all ages and everybody in your family and friend network, right? So I think that sets us apart in a big way. I had a question. If you were to name, say, 3 or 4, what are the 3 or 4 main reasons why we are better than Scholastic and we offer better opportunity? If you were to name 4 things, what makes us successful, and how are we going to disrupt this market?
Okay, so one is our pricing, which goes along, the value of our product. That's a big part of it. We have great products, great prices. I know I use that line a lot, but that really is, I feel like that's our brand. I think our brand is really important in this, that we have to train them, and I may be getting off on a tangent, but I think this is important, that we have to brand ourselves as this fair is a shopping experience. We are not Scholastic, and that, okay, I've got to go buy a book for my child so that I can say I bought a book from the book fair, so that he'll be happy, and I'm going to pay too much for it, more than I want to, but it's to help the school. So that is an impulse buy that a lot of people will do if they're in front of the fair with their child and little Timmy wants that book or poster or whatever it is right now. We don't have the impulse buy because we are online, but our brand and what the schools know about us is that we have great products at great prices, and we are a shopping experience. So I want them to learn, when they see Collective Goods on a yard sign out in front of the school, or the banners we're having made, that they think, oh, I can do my Christmas shopping now, or I can do some of, buy some birthday gifts or Easter gifts or whatever it is, or treat yourself day, or, for myself, that there are going to be things that I will want to buy on there at really good prices. So I know for Ronnie and I, that's been really important, that the Collective Goods name really does mean that. It's a collective good. It's good for the parents, it's good for the school, it's good for us, it's good for everybody, and we are a shopping experience. So,
I
price.
think another thing too, Heather, that you guys have done that really separates yourself is you're doing a lot of the legwork. Scholastic's really moved to getting a lot of volunteers from the contacts, and they're doing a lot of that work. Teachers, contacts, you're doing that work. You've really taken a lot. It's more seamless or simpler to get what a Scholastic is. Less involved for them, more sales.
Yep. In our email, I printed out, so I would try not to forget, but our email points out no physical labor, no volunteers needed. There's a free item for the students, who get at least 1 order. Cash back for the school with no minimum sales requirement. The orders are all wrapped and delivered, wrapped up individually and delivered to the school within days of the fair ending. That's important to Ronnie and I. We always make sure it's their orders are delivered the next week. So we have a quick turnaround time, and then that, the parents and the school, everyone's happy. We call it the trifecta. School's happy, we're happy, parents are happy, kids are happy, everybody's happy with the whole experience. So Steve, I'm sorry, I may have not answered. It's pricing, the ease of the system, with us being there to provide all the marketing material. We print all the flyers for them so that we make sure they're in color. And gosh, what else? I think customer service.
Yeah, all of that, what you're saying, again, is in the information that was sent out, because they put all this information in that. So literally in your sales pitch document, you have the 7 basic things, simplicity being number one.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that information that she's stating now is all in your hands in your email.
Mm-hmm.
Quick question. How much of a time frame do you give this for the ones you're doing?
You mean how soon do they have to book it with us?
Well, no, just from when you send out the first email to people until delivery, or close out the orders and then
Oh, how long are we running the fair?
yeah.
Okay. The first two were Monday through Friday, the first two fairs that we did. Then we started changing it. We're booking them Friday to Friday. And that was because after talking to our librarians, we decided if we incorporate 2 Fridays, then that's 2 chances to hit a payday for parents or teachers, you know,
And you
whoever.
got the weekend.
Pardon?
And you have the weekend.
And you have the weekend. Mm-hmm. And you have the weekend.
Okay, so pretty short. How much time from when you cut off the orders until delivery?
So if the fair ends on a Friday, then next week, that Monday through Friday, we make sure we're delivering the orders that week sometime. So we arrange whatever day that is, you know, when we're going to be in the area dropping off display or filling virtual orders, you know, for the surrounding area, then we schedule it in with that. We just make sure we make our schedule match up with that. So the more fairs you have, the trickier that can get. Like I think I was telling Bob earlier, we have in a couple of weeks, we're going to have 8 fairs running kind of at the same time. So logistically, it's a little tricky, but we're working it out. It just, as I said, your organizational skills are really important. Get yourself a big calendar, but it's worth it. You know, everybody, we're happy. And as far as filling the orders, I don't, you know, if you're thinking in your mind, oh my gosh, now I've got to fill all these orders and bag them up and get them ready, getting them ready to go. We're doing that at night when we're already filling other orders. But because the fair ends on a Friday, not that everybody wants to take their weekend, but for, you know, a $5,000 fair, I would take my weekend and take a few hours to pack up those orders and get them ready to go. You know, that's a lot of money, and bagging them up and stapling the receipt to them, really, it's worth it.
How do you handle how do you handle the free student items? I don't know.
Right now, because of the fact that we don't have a notes section and we're taking all our orders through the DOF and everything, I personally have like a standard email that I'm sending to anyone who orders. So it'll ask, you know, say, thank you for your order. We appreciate it. You know, and basically who is your student that, you know, will be receiving the free stress ball. And then the people email me back, they'll have their student name and like the classroom teacher. And so by the end of the fair, I'll have, over the weekend, I'll have all the names of the students. And then I put them in a little spreadsheet so I can print it out in Excel and give it to my librarian. That'll say student name, grade, and then teacher name. So they know who to send it home with and who to give the stress ball to.
Do you have a problem with running out of title, or I mean, like running out of an item and then having to give a refund?
We haven't had the problem of running out of anything. And Regina, I'm sorry if I am talking over you or you want to say anything, please do say something.
You're fine. I haven't done one yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. We haven't run out of anything. The system being fixed to make sure that we can't oversell is the best solution. But so far we have not run out of anything. I did have a situation where I had a book that was sold, and the 2 that were left were both pretty damaged, and I didn't realize it till I pulled them out of the case. So I emailed that customer and said, hey, I've got this book that you ordered. It's damaged. I'm sorry. I'm not going to, charge you for that, but I do have this other one if you'd like it as a replacement. It's along the same lines. It's a science book, blah, blah, blah. And she was really nice. She goes, no, that'd be great. That's fine. And I said, you know what? I'm going to throw both books in there for you, you know, customer service, and
right.
It's fine. But that is a concern. The running, the system allowing us to oversell as we get into more fairs where I can't really pay attention, that's definitely something that we want to resolve.
And a couple of things, I know these aren't exclusive to schools either. I think, Regina, haven't you booked a fair? Haven't we had a couple of fairs booked that maybe are for community groups or something like that, certain organizations versus a school?
Yeah, I've got,
And churches, I've heard churches too.
yeah, I don't have any churches booked yet. When I sent out the email to give this a whirl, I just set 2 specific weeks to set up fundraisers, just to get my feet wet and everything. So my first one starts next Friday and go to the following Friday, a week from Friday, 23rd through the 30th. And my first one is with the Special Olympics of the Eastern Band of the Cherokee Nation. So everybody within the Cherokee Indian Reservation will be getting the email. Now, my schools there are typically very good as far as sales in the schools. So hopefully everything will do well there. Now that area, and then I have another one in North Carolina booked that week. And both of those schools have actually completely closed and sent everyone except for critical essential employees home for COVID. So hopefully that's not going to affect things and we'll go on as scheduled next week.
And you've also booked some clubs, right, Regina?
I had one, yes, I've got, well, no, everything else is within the school. I've got one next week for, it's the basketball teams at a fairly large elementary school, but the sale will go out to everybody in the school. And then I've got a cheer club. I've got a junior college fundraiser set over in North Carolina. And then I've got another school fundraiser for science and technology. And that'll be a whole school fundraiser. So I've got 3 in October and 4 in November.
So Regina, on your basketball team and little offshoots like that, who did you get in contact with to even schedule that?
Well, you know, the fact that I even have 7 scheduled, I didn't work really hard at it. I pulled up the fundraising e-blast in the e-blast system, and I just sent it out and said that we were now offering fundraising. Anybody that was interested, reach out to me. Because, you know, I was just getting a few scheduled just to, like I said, get my feet wet. And all of a sudden I have 7. So, you know, and once I have results and I can say, hey, this is what we did, I'll push it a little harder.
And we're kind of building off of Heather and Ronnie's model here. We've come up and we're testing things, but we're thinking one thing, instead of giving a student a prize just for ordering or getting an order, is instead of that, kind of taking an idea from the other side that Ben was saying and say, hey, and for the student to earn his prize, he needs to send out 10 emails to family and friends. So now if you have a school that has 300 students, 150 are participating, you're looking at a possibility of 1,500 emails, and that's where this thing could really, really grow. I mean, we're only going to come up with, I think, more ideas and really build off of Regina, what you and what Heather and Ronnie have really started here. We've ton of momentum, ton of opportunity, and if you hear Steve, I mean, the optimism in this is just, it's really like seeing this go.
We have to have the product to back it up, and the system has got to quit selling it when it hits 0.
Hey, you know what? We're working on that, and I promise.
I know you are.
I'm sure Jim told you. Yesterday, I tested it myself. I bought a product with one, and it disappeared. I went back into the lineup, it disappeared. Then Jim called me today, and we were talking. He's like, Regina's overselling, Randy's overselling. And I went back into that same lineup, and that item, that backseat organizer, actually reappeared on her lineup. So now I've sent that into IT. I have a feeling it might have had something to do with the system this morning and why I did that. But as of yesterday, it actually had worked and removed that title without fulfilling.
So that's good news, Liz. We will be able to solve that problem at overselling, hopefully soon.
Hopefully.
You're on mute, Liz.
Hey, I've got a question for Heather.
Yeah.
Hey, you're talking yard signs and banners.
Mhm.
Where do you go to get yours?
Hey,
And
guys, real quick, we got 3 minutes. This is gonna be a hard stop. We're limited here. I forgot to tell you that at the beginning. Go ahead, Heather.
can you forward that information to Bob so he can spread it out?
Yes, we had Tyler Wilson helped us design with the company, helped us design a banner and some yard signs, and then we just had them printed locally. So
Could these be available through company store? Big boys.
I wouldn't say immediately, but again,
No, but
as we start building on this and everything, I'm sure that Steve will take it upon himself to get something going. So,
Heather, how many yard signs did you put out at the school when you had the fair?
5 seems to be the number, like because we have they take 10 with us, and then we kind of ask them, and 5 seems to be where they're like, well, 5 should do it. It gives them the right amount to put out in their pickup line and out front and everything. But putting these banners, and the fair coming up starting Friday will be the first one where we have like a 10x5 banner that we're going to put out, and we want to see what kind of difference that makes in the fair. So we're excited about that. Visual.
Heather, just real quick, the dollar rebate versus the product, first of all, how's that breaking?
Well, in the 2 fairs, one took cash and one took product. So
Okay, how do you handle the product? Manage it with them. Is it just they select 30, you give them a dollar amount and they select whatever?
yep, from the fair lineup, they go through and select, that dollar amount. And like the last fair, she said, well, I'm at $129, but I have 135. And we said, it's fine. Go ahead and pick something else. Even if you go over, it's fine. We're going to give it to you. Which is something that Scholastic does not do.
So they have to pick it before the link closes, right?
Well, I opened it back up for her so she could see it.
Okay.
That's what.
Okay, that's what I said. That's the problem for those that don't pick it even for the virtual school orders. So, yeah, okay.
Did you reopen the school's app order or did you do the fundraising app for her?
I opened the fundraising app for her to look at. Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, less than a minute to go. Go ahead, Jim.
I just wanted to say bye to everybody because we're going to get cut off.
Yeah, we are. So thanks everyone for attending. Really appreciate it. And let us know if you have any questions about this at all. Okay.
Hey, there's limited spots, so there's limited spots for this test. So whoever really wants